Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 501 based on novel. So let's start. The next moment, for some unknown reason, in the center of the entire palace complex, there was a crack like a black hole abyss, carrying a strong aura of destruction, slowly spreading out. Where the abyss of the black hole spreads, everything is devoured by it. Xiao Yan, what are you doing now? The two shadows came running one after the other, and their breath was quite chaotic. It was obvious that they had consumed a lot of reincarnation just to the keys. Yoon Yundai frowned, holding a huge blood-colored stone knife in her hand, which was naturally one of the keys to enter the main hall. However, by gathering the strength of the two, they only snatched one key. That abyss seems to be the entrance. Xiao Yang's attention has been stuck in the abyss of the black hole. Judging from the feedback of soul power, flame slave and holy flame, etc., the entrance can basically be determined. You, go. Yuaru gritted her teeth, and then her body was filled with bursts of glittering moonlight, and she fled directly to the outside world. Xiao Yang. Yoon Yoon's eyes were hesitant for a while. The danger contained in this black hole abyss made her feel a little uneasy. Go. Xiao Yang suddenly took out the residual image from his body, and immediately took Yoon Yoon and swept away directly towards the abyss of the black hole. According to the feedback from his own soul power, it seems that this is the entrance to the main hall, and now that the palace complex is collapsing, I am afraid there is only this last way. Will this be too risky? With Xiao Yang holding her palm, a touch of reassurance emerged, but looking at the black hole abyss whistling below, Yoon Yoon couldn't help but ask. An attack of that level is not something that can be easily defeated. These are blind tricks. Stick to your heart and run the key of the fairy weapon in your hand. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, the two of them poured into the abyss. Since Tangfeng didn't the key, it's enough to show that you can also enter it using the residual image. With the 2 residual pictures and the 5 fairy keys, there will be a total of 7 people to the last main hall. Just after submerging into the abyss of the black hole, scorching energy swept out from all directions. The terrifying high temperature and strange power were actually absorbing the reincarnation power in their bodies continuously, causing Xiao Yang to frown. After passing through the most difficult palace complex, Xiao Yang's bodies seemed to be swept toward the depths of the black hole and abyss, and he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Yang, that is? Just when Xiao Yang relaxed his vigilance, Yoon Yoon suddenly pulled the corner of Xiao Yang's clothes with his jade hand, and a rare fear appeared on his face. In the deepest part of the abyss of the black hole, there are countless fire slaves of different shapes emerging. They stand here quietly, glaring, guarding an ancient portal. Damn! Xiao Yang's heart suddenly filled with a long-lost heart palpitation. Such a huge number of fire slaves, even if they started, it would be an extremely difficult existence. Moreover, what puzzled Xiao Yang the most was that these slaves seemed to have the aura of holy flames. Bang! Just when Xiao Yang was puzzled, several figures swept across his body at a rapid speed, directly facing the ancient portal, unaffected by those slaves at all. On the ancient portal, strips of golden lines were slowly drawn into a strange incantation. Every time they looked at this incantation, the holy flames within Xiao Yang and Yoon Yoon hummed and throbbed, as if they had some kind of special magic power. Vaguely caused a lot of prestige to the holy flames in their bodies. Above the door, there was a handsome man in a white robe sitting quietly. The man's eyes were closed, and there was no energy fluctuation in his body, but there was a very conspicuous orange-gold fire pattern between his eyebrows. The identity of the guy is on full display. This guy is Sheng Yang. At this moment, Yoon Yoon's heart trembled slightly, and she said with some doubts. Not quite right. Xiao Yang did not answer, but the 6th evil outside the realm and the evil shadow in blood he encountered before echoed in his mind all the time. How is this going? This abyss is constantly devouring our power, we can't wait long. But the man in white robe guarding the door in front of him. This? A few strong men with keys in the distance also stopped, and no one dared to act rashly. Looking at the white-robed figure on the ancient portal in front of them, a look of extreme greed appeared in the eyes of several people. Their cognition and insight were extremely keen. Naturally, they sensed that this man was the so-called heavenly path Samsara, but even so, no one dared to act rashly until the situation was clarified. The power of the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao is inexhaustible, and it will undoubtedly benefit a lifetime. It always doesn't feel right. Xiao Yang did not act rashly, but carefully distinguished the white-robed man in front of him. There are fire slaves all over the place, and there are even white-robed men who are suspected of reincarnation, but the fluctuations on their bodies are too weak, so weak that they can almost be ignored. Xiao Yang, go. Just when Xiao Yang was puzzled, a huge roar sounded, and a huge energy slap suddenly slapped Xiao Yang and Xiao Yang in the void. Crack. Xiao Yang didn't show the slightest trace of any action, he just stretched out his hand to protect the two of them, retreated in unison, and glanced at some voids in the hall. You bastard. The void was surging, and Tang Feng's figure was pouring out. As soon as he appeared, he stared at Xiao Yang in the distance, and immediately sneered. 7 people in a row appeared in the main hall one after another, and the atmosphere of the entire hall suddenly became weird. Since none of you are willing to do it, let me do it. Bang! Tang Feng took the lead in launching the attack, the majestic power of spatial reincarnation poured out from the palm of his hand, and he slapped the countless fire slaves on the triangular ruins with one paw. The terrifying energy attack seemed powerful, but it did not cause any substantial damage. As soon as it touched the triangular ruins, it went out like a moth to a flame. Seeing Tang Feng's actions like this, many people around him looked very solemn. These 3 ruins, I am afraid, have extraordinary origins. Someone's here. Just when everyone was puzzled by this, an ancient atmosphere of vicissitudes slowly spread from the top of the ruins. Reincarnation of heaven? There was a sudden burst of greed and fear in the hearts of everyone, uncontrollably occupying their minds. The man in the white robe next to the throne opened his eyes, and there was a trace of a sacred orange-gold fire fox in his eyes. He glanced at the 7 people below, as if he was looking at 7 corpses. Being so swept away by the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao, everyone's hearts were gloomy and uneasy, but for the sake of this supreme holy flame, they pretended to be calm and sneered. The reincarnation of the heavens, now the great thousand world is in crisis, give me the fire of your origin. I will lead you to become the strongest in this world and enjoy endless respect. Tang Feng's voice became sharp and excited, and he spoke directly to Tiandao Samsara. It's just you. You do not deserve. The master of this seat, from beginning to end, is only the immortal of the reincarnation of the heavenly realm. The icy voice of Tiandao Samsara's flames is like the judgment of death, slowly impacting the minds of the strong present. Humph. Don't make mysteries like this again. The immortals of the reincarnation of the heavens have already fallen for countless years. As the 3rd strongest holy flame on the dignified holy flame list, are you willing to shrink here? Tang Feng didn't seem to be discouraged, he explained with a buoyant expression, but no one noticed some strange and intensifying fluctuations in his arms. The other powerhouses did not act rashly for a while, but prepared to act accordingly. The puppet in the center of the human world is also worthy of explaining such words with this seat. Tiandao Samsarayan sneered, and the humming orange flames swept out overwhelmingly, covering the entire main hall in an instant. All retreats were completely blocked. It seems that this guy is determined to kill us all. High Dragon Snake's eyes are very serious, and the fluctuations emanating from the white-robed man, if any of them are taken lightly, I am afraid it is easy to get there's life. What is so strange about this main hall? Why don't I feel the aura of our seniors from the Xiao clan, and the aura of the 6th evil **** outside the territory? Xiao Yang frowned, his soul and other powers all spread out, but he still returned without success. As a last resort, he could only turn his attention to Tiandao Samsarayan again. Oh! Aware of Xiao Yang's strange appearance, the white-robed man's eyes suddenly narrowed slightly. Give me the holy flame seed within the 2 of you. After a while, Tiandao Samsarayan's gaze directly locked on Xiao Yang and Yunyun, who remained silent. Both of them have holy flames in their bodies. For Shenyang, the source of Shenyang has a fatal attraction to them, not to mention the 6 sacred flames in Xiao Yang's body and the highly ranked sacred flame in Yunyun's body. The strength of Tiandao reincarnation flame has already reached the realm of penetrating the profound and subtle, and he is so prestige and eager to get the other 7 holy flames in the hall. Could it be for the so-called 6th evil god? A crazy and bold thought slowly resounded in Xiao Yang's heart. Hearing Tiandao Samsarayan's words, the other 4 suddenly laughed maliciously. The 7 people in this trip all have extremely hot greed for Shenyang. For example, today the man transformed by Dao reincarnation flame directly attacked Xiao Yang and Yunyun, which undoubtedly made the rest of the people feel extremely comfortable. After all, Xiao Yang and Yunyun both harbored holy flames, and being able to be restricted by the reincarnation flames of the heavenly Tao was undoubtedly the best thing for them. Seniors' actions like this are a loss of great demeanor. Around Xiao Yang's body, glazed holy flames hummed out and took a step forward. The majestic aura Yi Ran resisted the surrounding orange-gold aura, and there was a faint burst of undaunted pride gushing out. At this time, I can only bite the bullet. Maybe. But since you are obsessed, then this seat will refine you into fire slaves and keep you in this world forever. Anyway, if you enter this cave, it is absolutely impossible for you to get out alive. The power in your body, this seat will accept it with a smile. A gloomy smile appeared at the corner of Tiandao Samsara Yang's mouth, and with a slight wave of his palm, an invisible wave spread out, and the atmosphere in the entire hall suddenly became strange. A hot and mysterious high temperature suddenly slanted out from the triangular ruins, spreading like a layer of mist on the countless slaves above the ruins. Suddenly, a violent death breath sprinted into the hearts of everyone. He is controlling these fire slaves. Once these fire slaves are activated by him, I'm afraid our situation will be extremely embarrassing. The fire elf and Hell Yenyu suddenly appeared and surrounded Xiao Yang one after another. The fire elf's pretty face was dignified for a while Hell Yenyu's eyes were also staring at the figure of the throne above the ruins. At this time, the powerful, six-path reincarnation immortal, who only existed in legend, sat quietly on the throne, without any aura fluctuations around him, as strange as a dying body. Crack! One after another stiff frictions sounded, and suddenly the countless fire slaves in the triangular waist opened their eyes slightly, and an aura of vicissitudes that had been through the years emerged. Your food has arrived. Facing such a scene, Tiandao Samsarayan smiled slightly, and a touch of orange-gold fiery fox poured out like a source of life within the body, quickly spreading over the entire ruins. Those powers are like the rising tide of the sun. After countless fire slaves absorbed the orange-gold firefox, in the blink of an eye, a scorching high temperature that was enough to burn all the power of reincarnation and the power of the soul slowly dissipated from the bodies of these fire slaves. That unspeakable fluctuation made the 7 people realize for the first time that they were so close to death. Bang! Countless Hua Enyu's eyes opened, and an extremely surging breath poured out, causing the void and energy in the entire hall to sway. Xiao Yang and Yun Yun's figures surged together, directly following the low roar, and rammed towards the ancient portal. The body touched the ancient portal, but there was no danger to pass out, but the ancient portal slowly released a touch of extremely mysterious power towards the remnant picture in Xiao Yang's hand and the key in Yun Yun's hand. This portal seems to be checking the key in their hands to see if they have the qualifications to enter the main hall. This place is just an illusion. It should be the refraction of some space forces. These 6 reincarnation immortals really deserve their reputation. The secluded sea dragon snake on the side grinned. Where's the myriad poison GU girl? At the moment of checking, Xiao Yang said slightly. 5 keys, the girl beside you took one, I took one, and the remaining 3 were taken by some powerful people with stunts. The 10,000 poisonous girl seems to be moving towards the others in the cave. She's gone, and that's not her purpose. After being asked by Xiao Yang, Yuhai Dragon Snake shook his head slightly, and there was a violent aura in his eyes. Obviously, even he underestimated the strength of other powerhouses. So, in the main hall, 3 to 4, it's not very friendly. Xiao Yang frowned and said worriedly, "Don't worry, this time, we will definitely succeed." Yun Yun held the divine tool in her hand slightly, and a firm expression poured out. Just after Xiao Yang finished speaking, everyone's bodies instantly submerged above the door and rushed towards the main hall of the 6 Paths Samsara Immortal. The real highlight, at this moment, just started slowly. After a bizarre experience, the bodies of Xiao Yang and the 3 instantly came to a dim world full of dead silence. The dark world can only reach out and see 5 fingers, but vaguely can feel an unprecedented pressure permeating its heart. "Xiao Yang, look there." Yun Yun suddenly spoke, her voice full of surprise. Looking along Yun Yun's voice, a breathtaking huge palace world slowly unfolded in front of several people. The palace in front of him is 1,000 feet in size, but it is very different from the usual palaces. The whole palace is quadrilateral, and the center of the palace is like a slightly sharp. On the top of the triangular ruins is a golden throne completely paved with orange light. On the throne, there is a thin figure sitting quietly cross-legged. Beside him sitting cross-legged, there is a figure standing quietly. This figure is the white-robed figure that everyone just saw in the Abyss portal. Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame. At the bottom of the triangular ruins, the vicious slaves looked up at the golden throne in the center of the hall, and their eyes were filled with killing power and respect. What are these 6 reincarnation immortals? The holy flames emerged, illuminating the entire hall. At this moment, Xiao Yang only felt a chill in his heart, because the fluctuations contained in the nearly 100 fire slaves in front of them were all in the reincarnation order. If this suddenly awakened, I am afraid. And most importantly, the 6 paths of reincarnation immortal and Saint Flame Man on the golden throne vaguely made Xiao Yang feel extremely uneasy, and the hell flame slave in his body also had a strange appearance of breaking through the bondage. The countless fire slaves in the triangular ruins are also very meticulously arranged. Under Xiao Yang's perception, it seems that they are taking the form of a certain formation, suppressing and resisting something. Besides, there was no trace of evil in the entire hall, which made Xiao Yang quite uneasy. Could it be that the 6th evil has been destroyed? Then, the evil shadow in blood that I encountered before took a huge risk to enter here. Why did it happen? This. Looking at this scene, Rao Yi's experience with the Serenity Sea Dragon and Snake couldn't help but take a deep breath. The main hall of the 6 Paths Reincarnation Immortals is really too imposing and weird, so many fire slaves are enough to give any strong person a headache. Moreover, the fluctuations on the body of the man transformed by the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao are probably at least the terrifying existence of the 4th reincarnation level. Let's do it. I will help you conquer this holy flame during this trip. After a while, there seemed to be a trace of dragon shadows in the eyes of the secluded sea dragon snake, and the whole person seemed very mysterious. Xiao Yang was slightly surprised by the words of Yuhai Dragon Snake, but Yuhai Dragon Snake also knew that the 3rd most powerful holy flame on the holy flame list was definitely not something that he could swallow. The gods are all gone, it just so happens that Xiao Yang and the demon world have an old relationship, and they are just selling their feelings. Etc. No, the space has begun to change. At this moment, the corners of Tang Feng's eyes were gloomy and cold, and the temperament of the heavenly Tao Samsara in front of him was too strange. While speaking, on the ground of the palace under everyone's feet, suddenly there were countless orange-gold fire feathers gushing out. Countless fire feathers just gushed out, and immediately surrounded the entire palace. Wrap it up and completely isolate all escape route. Boom. Above the ruins, each slave's eyes contained a savage aura as they slowly walked out of the ruins. The crimson fire molten golden world above the ground, a touch of powerful temperature made the expressions of the 7 people present extremely solemn. Xiao Yang, I believe in you. Seemingly aware of Xiao Yang's restless mind, Yun Yunyu held the Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor sword in her bracelet and quietly held Xiao Yang in the other, her beautiful eyes filled with tenderness. These fire slaves are not quite right, be careful and do it. At this moment, Xiao Yang grinned, and the incomparably crazy voice finally sounded out. Since the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao wants to deprive oneself of the holy flame, there is no need to hide it. Judging from the aura of Saint Flame, the aura of these slaves is a little weird. Bang bang bang. A series of hideous voices sounded, and the 10 fire slaves successively blocked the water surrounding Xiao Yang's body, and there was a greed that could devour all things in their eyes. On top of Huarenyu's body, a faint orange-golden fire fox surrounded his body, and that extremely powerful wave made Xiao Yang's complexion particularly intense. The power of the 3rd holy flame, even though it is only a trace of fire, the coercion originating from the most powerful people on the holy flame list is definitely not something that Xiao Yang can resist at present. Bang! With a single blow, Xiao Yang's arm conveyed a numbness. The 10 Hua slaves, although the fluctuations on their bodies did not have a clear strength, just relying on their physical strength, they were actually on par with Xiao Yang. These fire slaves can't use any fighting skills, but they can be so tyrannical just by virtue of their physical strength, which is a bit. Wait, are you saying that this power comes from the 6 Paths Reincarnation Immortal? While coping with Hua slaves' continuous attacks, Xiao Yang vaguely detected something from Hell Yang slave's memory. Light of Firefly, also trying to win glory with Hao Yue? Practice for me. Looking at the scene of fierce fighting in the Scarlet Fire Golden Realm below, Tiandao Samsara Yang slowly shook his head. The sound of the reincarnation flame of the heavenly Tao has just fallen, and on the bodies of the 10 Hua slaves around Xiao Yang, there is a star pattern gushing out. 10 rising stars are connected, an unparalleled imprisoning force, trying to make all the power in Xiao Yang's body completely restrained. Just based on this ability, do you want to refine me? Looking at this scene, within Xiao Yang's body, there was a glaze-colored flame, and the 2 powers of grey thunder and lightning shone like a star fox, resisting the powerful force of imprisonment. Dragon Claw. Under the protection of the 2 kinds of energies, Xiao Yang's whole body flashed with a strange energy, and his body flashed out like a ghost. When he hit with a claw, the star cage shattered in an instant. At the same time, a low humming blast sounded, and the bodies of the 10 Hua slaves trembled slightly, and they were instantly crushed into clouds of blood mist by this powerful attack. The blood mist drifted in the air, revealing an endless ***** aura, as if some kind of creature was slowly crawling in it. This guy. He solved the 10 fire slaves in front of him. Xiao Yang's eyes slowly stared at the motionless Tiandao Samsarayan above the ruins. This guy is his ultimate goal, and from the current point of view, although Tiandao Reincarnation Flame does not have the spirit of Holy Flame, he has already established himself as a king. If he wants to conquer him, I am afraid that he must defeat Feng Sai. Xiao Yang, these Hua slaves are immortal. Be careful. And just when Xiao Yang's heart flickered with doubts, a cold and anxious voice of Yun Yun suddenly came out from behind him in the golden circle of red fire. Boom. As Yun Yun's voice sounded, the strange aura that had already turned into blood mist in front of him actually shook, and a wave that was more powerful than just before emerged. The five-fold reincarnation level. At this moment, an uncontrollable chill of fear swept out of Xiao Yang's blood and soul. The blood mist transformed by these 10 fire slaves can actually gather again, and after the gathering, they actually turned into a more terrifying fire slave. Immortal. The supreme fire slave of the 5th reincarnation stage. Beyond the existence of the 6th-path reincarnation puppet. What exactly is going on? The blue dragon scales on Xiao Yang's body suddenly stood upright, and a wave of unease and fear filled his heart. Hey! The blood mist trembled, a pale figure poured out, and the blood mist remaining around him was instantly evaporated by a touch of orange-gold flamingo. The flame of the reincarnation of the heavens. At this moment, the blue dragon scales all over Xiao Yang's body emitted a humming meaning, and even the holy flames in his body also burst out with an unprecedented sense of pride. The fire of holy flame is resisting, telling endless madness, gathering the power of the 6 holy flames, even if it is not comparable to the 3rd holy flame, but as the noble pride of holy flames, how could they lower their heads and beg for mercy on their own accord? Bang bang bang! The blood mist was evaporated, and the eyes of the other 6 people on the scene were immediately condensed. Although they were entangled by many Hua slaves, none of them directly killed the Hua slaves with such thunderous means as Xiao Yang. This Xiao Yang's strength should not be underestimated, but I'm afraid there will be a good show to watch next. The remaining 4 slowly dealt with their respective fire slaves, and immediately looked at Xiao Yang with a look of schadenfreude. The fusion-type Hua slave, which contains the power of the holy flame of the reincarnation of the heavens, is comparable to the human 5-fold reincarnation level, and such a terrifying existence is enough to really kill Xiao Yang here. Wang, I will take care of these guys, and that guy, it's just a pity that the 2 holy flame controllers, gathering the holy flames in their bodies, should be able to imprison that guy for a while. Tiandao Samsara Yang said respectfully to the man on the throne, and then his eyes locked directly on Xiao Yang. It seems that only he knows everything here. Outsiders only know that the 6 paths of reincarnation is a peerless treasureland containing holy flames, but whether it is a treasureland or an abyss, I am afraid it is still unknown. Tiandao Samsara Yang lowered his head indifferently, and said in an icy voice, Slave Yang, do it. Destroy him. A strange voice sounded, and immediately there was a flash of orange-gold fire in the eyes of Yang Enyu in front of Xiao Yang. The battle of holy flame, I really miss it. Xiao Yang smiled slightly, the corners of his mouth raised a strange and crazy arc, and the glazed holy flames swirled around him with a 6-color halo, which was incomparably gorgeous. Intruder, die. When Yang Enyu uttered the last word, a huge sound that shook his heart and soul swept out, carrying some kind of strange wave that could not be recognized by the naked eye. Soul storm. Xiao Yang's face was not afraid, he dominated the dragon scales to protect his body, and the 6-color holy flames circulated. In coordination with the surging of the 7-layered spiritual palace in his body, a mighty wave of hundreds of feet suddenly spewed out in the void. The invisible soul power swept through, and the terrifying soul power rippling in the mind was like some invisible hurricane, and even Tang Feng and the 4 couldn't help but turn cold. This Xiao Yang's strength is actually so powerful. Yuhai Dragon Snake knocked back the Hua Enyu in front of him with one palm, and immediately looked at Xiao Yang who was fighting against the extremely powerful Yang Enyu in disbelief. The soul power of the immortal ascension boundary, if there is not enough opportunity, I am afraid that it will not be able to reach it in a lifetime. The overwhelming soul storm gushed out, like an invisible hurricane whizzing past, and finally abruptly fought in mid-air, shaking the entire void of the Scarlet Fire Golden Realm completely. One after another giant waves of souls rolled out, and the terrifying fluctuations shook the entire space to the brink, as if all the power was overshadowed by the battle of this level of souls. Heaven's way of reincarnation points. At the moment when this soul confrontation just fell, countless energies gathered in the direction of Yang Nu above the entire void, where the space suddenly tightened like a heart, and immediately turned into the most dazzling flame and fireworks bloomed out. In the center of the void, Yang Nu's palm suddenly lifted, and he quietly pointed at Xiao Yang. There were countless orange-gold fire patterns lingering on his fingertips, and there was even some kind of destructive power underneath. Top immortal arts. At this moment, Xiao Yang's mind reverberated with some kind of heart palpitations. It seemed that under Yang Nu's finger, all things died out. That is the top immortal art with the blessing of the third holy flame, and its power is almost as powerful as it is outrageous. Tai Chi Heavenly Emperor / Gu Fengqian's shadow flickered, and a silver sword gushed out, drawing a beautiful arc in the void, and the divine and ferocious aura crawls out like a peerless beast. Bang! One finger and one sword just collided, and suddenly bursts of harsh light flashed across the entire scarlet fire golden realm. The bodies of the 5 people around them quickly retreated, and no one dared to be contaminated with that special power. You are crazy. Xiao Yang's eyes flashed with extreme compassion and love, and he embraced Yun Yun's delicate body in his arms. Although his face was serious, his voice was very gentle. At this time, Yun Yun's splendid dress had already been torn apart by Yang Nu's finger, and a large piece of snow-white color was faintly revealed, and the whole person looked a little embarrassed. Even with the Taiji Heavenly Emperor sword as a guide, against a finger whose strength is comparable to that of a 5-layered reincarnation rank Yang slave, he was almost seriously injured. I just want to help you. Yun Yun's chest rose and fell violently, as if she wanted to forcibly cheer up, but after struggling, she quietly crawls on Xiao Yang's chest. Stay here. Netherworld Dragon Snake, please take care of me. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, there was a madness in his eyes. I can't keep my hands. The power in the Scarlet Fire Golden Realm is already devouring their little power of reincarnation. If they are stuck like this, I'm afraid everyone will stay here completely. Are you finally ready to use all your strength? The other 4 looked at Xiao Yang in anger, and immediately narrowed their eyes, staring at Xiao Yang intently. Since you are a slave of flames, let's see whose flame is more powerful. A cold arc appeared on Xiao Yang's face, his body was suspended in mid-air, and his palms suddenly slammed into the void. I don't know if it was caused by soul power or other forces. The huge void in the red fire golden realm exploded abruptly, and scenes of colorful energy liquid flowed out. The 6 colors of liquid, like 6 completely different flame slugs, just emerged, and the temperature in the entire hall dropped to the lowest point. These are all holy flames. Among the 4, someone kept speaking out. The greed in their eyes was slowly replaced by shock. The power of the holy flame is rampant, and it is extremely difficult to find traces. This Xiao Yang has so many holy flames in his body at the same time. 6 sacred flames. It's really an out-and-out monster. It's a pity that there is that guy in the cave. This time, I'm afraid we can only destroy this place together. Looking at the source of the 6-color holy flame lava flowing around Xiao Yang's body, the irony in Tiandao Samsarayan's eyes slowly disappeared, and he turned to look at the ancient figure beside him, his eyes filled with regret. In front of Xiao Yang, at the chest, a small cauldron of flame that looked ordinary began to emerge. Under the operation of Xiao Yang's burning power, it slowly rose, blooming with an endless brilliance that did not belong to this world. The 6 holy flames slowly flowed into the small flame cauldron, and a splendid river of flames swept out. At the moment when it poured out, the entire hall seemed to be stabbed by some kind of sting. The gloomy black air slowly infiltrated from the depths of the triangular ruins. The black air was icy and gloomy, and just after it emerged, several people present felt a strange emotional fluctuation. That kind of fluctuation is a taste from outside the realm, the 7 realms' divine artifact. The flame god cauldron? Seeing Xiao Yang's actions, Tiandao Samsara Yang's body trembled strangely, and a touch of ecstasy instantly occupied the latter's mind. Damn! The river of holy flame surged, but it was instantly suppressed by those black chi, making Xiao Yang's body unable to move. Black energy surged, carrying some kind of strange emotional fluctuations, and slowly turned into a black beam of light. The beam of light had endless brilliance circulating around it, making it extremely gloomy and cold. What exactly is this? With the gushing of the black beam of light, the remaining fire slaves in the entire triangular ruins quieted down together, but the endless black gas permeated from it, and finally poured into the black beam of light in the middle of the hall. Every time the brilliance of the black beam of light flows, it will bring some kind of extremely strange emotional fluctuations, like anger, sadness, etc. The sad and strange atmosphere completely fills the entire palace. Yang and Yu quieted down together, and even Hua and Yu, who was beside the other 6, seemed to have lost all vitality in an instant, and stood blankly in the air. The black beam of light waved, like an irresistible sky falling, overturning towards Xiao Yang. Go back to this seat. Just at this critical moment, the figure of Tiandao Samsara's flaming white robe waved and moved directly from the top of the triangular ruins. In the blink of an eye, it came to Xiao Yang, and a bright orange-gold light emerged, shaking those black beams aside in one fell swoop. Even if the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame shot, it only shook the black beams aside and seemed unable to expel them. Even the power of Holy Flame, which ranks 3rd on the Holy Flame list, can't expel and purify this aura. Boy, can't you find death? Seeing Xiao Yang's strange behavior, Tiandao Samsara Yang turned around and scolded. Senior, is this the remnant of that evil god's power? Xiao Yang smiled, as if he had thought of some good solution. So what? That's not what you should know. Tiandao Samsarayan's eyes were gloomy. He raised Baiji's finger and pointed heavily at the black beam of light in front of him. Suddenly, an orange-gold flame burst out from between the fingers. It looked like the size of a thumb, but wherever it passed along the way, there was a strong ancient wave. The orange fire finger was extremely fast, and as soon as it emerged, it isolated the void around the black beam of light from the hall, making it impossible for it to continue to draw the evil aura in the triangular ruins to replenish itself. However, the black beam of light also seemed to be very spiritual. It shook in the blink of an eye, and circles of black mist continued to spread out, as if it was summoning something. Bang bang bang! At such a critical moment of life and death, on the throne that had been quiet above the ruins, a rather peculiar fluctuation was transmitted. Bang! The majestic evil black air poured out from under the black beam of light and the triangular ruins, and after a while, it completely wrapped its throne. The man on the throne, who was like a living dead, his eyes that had been closed for countless years, suddenly had a rather faint beating. At this moment, whether it was Xiao Yang, Yun Yun or Tang Feng, looking at the scene in front of him with a cold expression, the dignified expression in his eyes couldn't be more serious. If the immortals of the 6 paths of reincarnation wake up, it would be a real catastrophe for them. Because the current 6 paths of reincarnation immortals, I am afraid that they have already been completely corroded by the evil aura, and Huawei has become a member of the foreign evil clan. Once they wake up, there will only be one fate for the strong ones present. Fall here. Senior, do you still hesitate? Xiao Yang gently took a breath of cold air, his eyes were alert, and he immediately squeezed his palm tightly, and the flaming cauldron floated in the air, releasing an extremely terrifying wave, and turned to speak directly to the reincarnation of the heavenly path in front of him. The 7 realms' divine artifact, the flame god Ding, is powerful, but your strength is too weak. With our current strength, you simply can't deal with him. Tiandao Samsarayan looked at the man on the throne with gloomy eyes, with a very complicated expression. The 6 paths Samsara Immortal controls the 3rd holy flame and obliterates the 6th evil ***** outside the territory. Such a strong person deserves the respect of anyone in the world. In the current situation, I don't think even the senior immortals of the 6 paths of reincarnation would like to see. After he died, he was occupied by evil. As the master of the holy flame, even if I am torn to pieces here, I am willing to do my best to obliterate this evil god. Even if I bet everything on me, I want this senior to have a good home. Xiao Yang's voice was full of calm arrogance, and his eyes were directly fixed on the samsara of the heavens. He has grown up for a long time, even if he has not yet possessed the power to confront the evil god, but if he is afraid of his hands and feet, he will undoubtedly be digging his own grave. The power of the evil god. He has immortality and immortality in his body, and it comes from the pride in the blood of the Xiao family. This battle is imperative. This cave has been completely controlled by it. Once he wakes up, we will all fall here. Tiandao Samsara Yang's voice was particularly heavy, and he couldn't help but look at Xiao Yang a few more times. This guy's behavior is exactly the same as the 6 paths Samsara Immortal, but he doesn't know that the 6th evil ***** outside the realm has the supreme power that shakes the world. Even if it was the 6 paths Samsara Immortal plus himself, it was only a narrow victory at the beginning. Now that the 6 paths have fallen, although the heretic god is also seriously injured, the heavenly path Samsara flame does not dare to gamble. Once the 6th evil is successfully resurrected, the catastrophe brought by that kind of powerhouse is unimaginable. At that time, he may be the sinner of the ages in the great world. Senior is so hesitant, but he is worried that the evil power will spill over, which will lead to the rendering of the world. I have 6 holy flames in my body, as well as many other means such as the flame god cauldron, and I would like to make a deal with Senior. Seeing that Tiandao Samsara Yang had no sign of making a move, Xiao Yang urged directly. Can't wait any longer, it will change if it's too late. What deal? Tiandao Samsara Yang was also a little scared. Before, he planned to swallow the power of Xiao Yang and others, naturally, to stabilize the power of the enchantment to suppress the evil spirits. Now, the power of Xiao Yang clearly has a chance to obliterate the evil spirits. But that kind of hope is really too small if this trip kills the 6th evil god. I hope Senior will give me your origin. With burning determination, the 3rd holy flame is extremely important to me. Xiao Yang's eyes were firm, and he spoke word by word. Today's Xiao Yang does indeed possess this arrogance. A mere 6th evil who was suppressed by the 6-path reincarnation immortals for countless reincarnations, Xiao Yang believed that he still had a chance of survival. What if you lose? Tiandao Samsarayan asked a question, but when Xiao Yang said this, he already had a plan in his heart. If you lose, keep your mouth shut. And as a descendant of the Xiao clan, I am willing to detonate 6 holy flames to form the latitude of holy flames and permanently suppress this place in place of Senior. Xiao Yang's voice was extremely arrogant, but when it fell into the ears of Tiandao Samsarayan, it was filled with a special magic power. Okay. Then this seat will accompany you to go crazy once. Ha ha ha. Tiandao Samsarayan laughed wildly, orange gold flames poured out from the sky and covered the earth, and a touch of divine aura emerged, constantly resisting the black beam of light and those evil auras. This video will end here.